Good morning. Welcome to the program. I'm Tanya Mock. The talk continues right here on the Morning Scramble. And again, we thank you for being our audience. And we always enjoy having you, and we appreciate you as our audience. Coming to you from the home of the Rockin' to Remember fundraiser to benefit the Fallen 19 residents, and residents of Yarnell. We're going to be talking about that later in the show. First on the phone for us, we have Slash. He's going to be appearing at the benefit and the fundraiser, and we're very pleased about that. Saul Hudson, better known by his stage name Slash, is a British-American musician and songwriter. Best known, former lead guitarist for the American band Guns N' Roses. Slash has received critical acclaim as a guitarist. Time named him runner-up in their list of the 10 best electric guitar players in 2009. Now that's just one of many awards and accolades that Slash has received. Slash, welcome. Thanks for talking to us today.
Hey, Tanya. Hi.
Hi.
Morning.
Did we catch up to you in Canada right now, or was I misinformed?
No, I'm back in LA now.
Oh, okay. Okay. You're in LA speaking to us, of course. Will this be your first time to Prescott when you come over for the fundraiser, Slash?
You know, that's a good question. I don't think I have been to Prescott before.
You'll love it. You'll love it, believe me. I want to tell you right now how jealous my niece is of me right now talking to you. So just as long as you know that, we can continue forward, okay?
Okay.
Slash, talking about the fundraiser and, of course, the Fallen 19, we so appreciate you lending your talents to us. How did this happen? Who contacted you? Give me the background on this.
Well, Alan Niven, who's a resident in Prescott, and I were talking, and he'd asked me if I'd be interested in doing it. And Alan was the former manager for Guns N' Roses. So he and I are real tight for a long time. And so he mentioned it, and I thought it would be a great idea, and that was it. And he's been putting it together and getting all the details, getting it all lined up, so to speak. So.
Thank you. We want to talk, of course, about your solo career. You're having a stellar solo career. Recording alone, you have said that it's cathartic to record alone. What do you mean by that?
Well, it's not necessarily what you call recording alone, but it's I guess it was in 2009, 2010. I decided to just put out my own record basically, and I put the band together, and I got a bunch of different singers to sing on. On each individual track, there's a different singer, and I did that, and it was just a lot of fun. I didn't have to answer to anybody, and I could move at my own pace and so on and so forth. And so I put a band together to tour on it, and the band that I put together to do the tour turned out to be an amazing band. And so I put a record together with them, and then that did really well. And we've been touring for the last year, I think the last 16 months. And so, yeah, it's been a lot of fun. The guys I'm working with are great, and so it's turned started into more of a group now at this point than just a solo thing. So, anyway, but yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and we've been doing really well.
In saying it was cathartic, do you think, or how are you feeling? More emotions and feelings have surfaced maybe with the debut of a solo album, more than you could have done with a group?
Well, I mean, I think I just have a little bit from a guitar player point of view, or from a musician point of view. It's just being able to do. I have more control over what it is that we're doing. And normally, I'm in a band where there's five different people. It's a little bit of a democracy, and we sort of split the. I contribute one thing, and everybody else has a say in it, and it's fine. I love working. It's cooperative.
It's a lot of give and take.
And I love working in a group, but sometimes it can be, for whatever reasons, it can be really, really frustrating. So in this situation, at this point in my career, it's nice to be able to sort of just do what it is that I want to do, and not have to worry about somebody looking over my shoulder or whatever. And so there's a lot to that.
Slash, you divide your time between touring, obviously, recording. There's a new film also we're going to talk about in a few minutes, but you divide your time aiding sanctuaries around the world. That's very dear to your heart, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm an animal enthusiast, right? So
How many animals do you own, Slash?
I actually, at this point, I have had many reptiles in my time.
I saw that.
But I don't have any anymore. It's been a while now, and really we're just down to a couple dogs.
I purposely did not ask you about that, but go ahead. Okay.
What?
I purposely didn't ask you about that. Dividing your time between obviously helping sanctuaries, and I think you recently were in Africa.
Yeah, I was just in South Africa, yeah.
Your feeling on South Africa as a musician, musicians see things, atmosphere, ambiance more keenly than other people do. What was your feeling?
Well, South Africa, we had some shows over there that there was just such an energy, and the spirit of the crowd was such that, you know, it was overwhelming. It was a really memorable 4 shows that we did over there. And just being like I spent some time in Kruger National Park, and that was just, you know, I'd never been there before, and it was just awesome. It's so far removed from civilization as we know it in America, you know, and then the wildlife is amazing, and it's just this expanse of nature. It's really cool.
Slash, when performing on stage, the enthusiasm of the audience has to be very infectious for you. More enthusiasm you get from the audience, do you find that I mean, nothing can improve you. You're one of the best, but I mean, do you find you have more energy?
Do I have more energy because of the audience?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think, you know, with performing in front of an audience, obviously there's a huge amount of give and take, but in any sort of entertainment profession, I think that happens. But when you're actually in a rock and roll band, which is really about energy anyway, and it's about attitude, and it's about you know, this excitement and this volume and all that kind of stuff. When you have an audience that's giving it back to, you just feed each other, you know. So it's essential. Yeah.
Slash, you've worked with Betty White, one of my favorites. I mean, I imagine she is just a hoot to work with.
Well, she's actually my boss at the zoo in Los Angeles. Well, she's not my boss.
She's probably a hoot to work with regardless.
She's higher up on the ladder, and we're on the board of directors at the Los Angeles Zoo, and so she's now the head of the board of the directors.
Slash, did you see when she hosted the Saturday Night Live, and she came out on stage and she said, I'm here because of my fans on Facebook lobbying for me to do this, and she says, I didn't know what it was, and now that I know what it is, I think it's a big waste of time.
She's got a great sense of humor.
Oh, fabulous. I promised we would talk about your film.
Although she probably wasn't lying.
I agree. Film company and new film. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, well, I started a horror production company, horror film production company, and so the first feature that we produced is coming out in October called Nothing Left to Fear. So it's pretty exciting. I've been a fan of horror movies ever, probably since before I could walk.
Oh, yeah.
And I was given the opportunity to produce, and actually found out that I had quite the aptitude for it. So, you know, it was a struggle. It was a lot of work, and we had very little money and very little time, really, to put it together. But I think we did a really great job, and it's coming out October 4th in the U.S. And yeah, so there you go.
Psychological thriller called Nothing to Fear, correct?
Nothing Left to Fear, yeah.
Nothing left to fear?
Yeah.
I left out a word, forgive me.
Well, to let all things considered, it was called Nothing to Fear at one point, and then when I wrote the theme song for it, the theme song was Nothing Left to Fear, and then we liked that, so we changed the title.
Slash, as an avid reader, getting ideas from reading, did this come from reading? What do you read these days?
What do I read these days? Well, I'm reading. I'm just staring at my nightstand. I'm reading The Art of War right now. But I mean, I read a lot. So this didn't come from reading, though. Well, no, it did. I guess. I mean, when I was a kid, my dad turned me on to all kinds of H.P. Lovecraft and excuse me, H.G. Wells and Orson Welles and Edgar Allan Poe and all that when I was really young, because I was so into horror, he turned me on to all the horror books. So yeah, it is an extension of reading that stuff.
So see, Slasher, that's some of my generation. I'm a little bit ahead of your time. Loved your music, love your talent, though. Please accept that. And it is an honor and pleasure to talk with you. We so look forward to having you here in Prescott for the Rockin' to Remember benefit. Thank you so much for lending your time.
It was great talking to you, Tanya. We'll see you up there.
Thank you, Slash.
All right, cheers.
Bye-bye. When we come back, we're going to talk about the organizers of Rockin' to Remember benefit fundraiser to benefit the Fallen 19 and the Yarnell residents. You stay right there.